you see me above Brighton, or actually already a little further down on our way to Dover, back from Shoreham, Brighton to Echo Delta Alpha Zulu, which is Schönhagen near Berlin. Yesterday,
do you have an estimate for Oxford?
Yesterday I flew Hector here. You can see in the meantime we have gathered some really pretty significant clouds here, which are going to go away as soon as we go out onto the open sea across to the Netherlands. Stay tuned for afterwards when we go across the sea. Here this is a pretty mighty cloud here in the back, and here if I turn it around you can see the shoreline of England closing in on Dover. Well, if you look at the sea, the channel, you can tell it's pretty foggy there. There's a low fog that we're flying above. Pretty soon also we're gonna, they call it coasting out here, which I find is a very nice expression. They're telling them that we leave the mainland. Actually, over the top you should be able to see a little bit the cliffs of Dover, which we may, and switch off the autopilot and go a little bit to our right. You can see the cliffs much better. Here the famous cliffs of Dover down here, ready for us to coast out. Right now we're coasting out. This is the last we see of beautiful southern England. We're gonna tell her in a minute now. And we'll keep it running while we got the Mike Papa Charlie Sierra, position TAFMO, altitude 5,500, coasting out now, direction Zealand, Netherlands.
Delta Charlie Sierra, Roger. And when you have it, your estimate for the boundary?
The estimate for what? This is also really nice. There must be sandbanks in the channel. Obviously, where the sand comes out in low tide, I think, which we have right now. We have low tide. Incredible though. Now we're on our way to the Netherlands, almost already having to descend again below the Oostende TMA, which is here on this channel. We cannot see the other coast yet, which we could see yesterday in clear weather. You can see both sides.
Do you have an estimate for Wellsbourne?
Although it's really hot, we have a little time to report you now. We're underneath the Oostende TMA, which is, I hope one can see it, the light blue part in the middle, which is terminal managed area from Ostende Airport. I don't know how big that is, or whether that's really necessary to extend it so far out into the channel, but that is the case. And we have boats all over. Right now, also, we are flying pretty low, of course, because we have to stay underneath that thing. But we're already in touch with Dutch Bill Service, which is the service that's gonna accompany us all the way through the Netherlands. The coast is already, I don't know whether you can see it on the phone, but the coast is already visible here. This here is also really amazing. I don't know how well you will see it on the screen, but there's tons of ships parked outside Rotterdam harbor, probably waiting to be charged or uncharged, or I don't know, unloaded, and there's a big container ship. They just started moving, but all the others are just lying there and do nothing really. They seem to be parked here in the middle of the channel and sitting there waiting for better times. Really interesting. Hopefully it's visible in the back. It doesn't seem to be a very windy day, but we have a huge wind park, offshore wind park, and all the blades are standing still, all the props are not moving, which is probably rarely the case. And of course, since we're flying back, we would actually wish for more wind, because usually it comes from the west and would be a very nice tailwind, but unfortunately there's nothing of the sort. Now here we also see the coast. This is now the Dutch coast, and somewhere up there should be Europe's biggest harbor, that is Rotterdam. Certain parts of a big harbor, but I think it's still in Belgium. Well, here we are above Zeeland in the Netherlands, so we're on the shore already. It's a little island though, that we're crossing and then further onto our way to Germany. Much more interesting than Zeeland though, is here, as you can see in the background, that's where the Rhine River actually flows into the sea. And you can tell it's a really mighty river here at this point. It's really phenomenal. Once more, we have this phenomenal panoramic view of the Rhine flowing into the North Sea, which is really fantastic. Here we are again, following the beautiful Rhine River all across the Netherlands. It's huge at this point, and also is meandering into different branches into the sea. Phenomenal view. Here we finally have the wonderful city of Rotterdam, and also here we can see it's a whole river system that's flowing around it. Somewhere in the background, where in the background we can also see the airport. I can see it with my eyes, but maybe the camera can't see it. And I guess even further away is the city of Rotterdam. As you see here, we're now back in good old normal Germany. It looks pretty well, normal on the ground, but up here we have a phenomenon that we don't encounter so often here in northern Germany, because these are lentil clouds, meaning we have massive air waves up there, because normally they only exist around southern Germany and in Switzerland, or Föhn, Lentillenwellen, and are not very well known or often here in northern Germany. I would like. Okay, we're now back in lovely Berlin area, where of course it's really hot, and we're now at an incredible flight level 95, but the clouds are still, and these are nice weather clouds, cumulus, are still well towering above our flight level, but this is obviously the highest we can go, so we have to maneuver between them. And in a minute I'm gonna switch off the autopilot and do everything by hand. The weather in Berlin looks good, 32 degrees as I mentioned already, and a spread of incredible 23 degrees. The dew point is at 9 degrees, so that 23 degree spread, which is incredible. Okay, enough for now.